So you've downloaded Illustrator and want to make a logo. First things first, don't open the program. Illustrator has way too many tools and we don't want to get lost. Before you start to use any of them, let's define our problem. You do that by sketching. Once we have a final sketch, we can identify what tools we need to solve our design problem. That's it. For the sake of learning, follow along with my sketch. It's going to be a logo for a town called Five Cities. It's a nearby town. There are trees, there are oceans, beaches, hikes, all these things. But first, we're going to sketch out just the name of the town. Do the letters have any character that we can use as a logo? Can we just do a word mark? I don't know. Let's explore. Excuse the bad sketching. I'm not going to pretend like I'd be good even in under optimal conditions. I'm kind of positioned in a weird way because of the camera, but I'm smushing together letters, trying waves as the eyes, see if the dot of the eye could work as a sun. You're just kind of messing around right now. I would encourage you, if you ever want to make a logo, just start sketching, start messing around with the elements you already know exist. Low-hanging fruit. So you're going to notice I switched from just the 5 cities word or words and brought in the number 5. In my opinion, a really dynamic shape in itself. Curves, straight lines, and you can see I think I've identified something. Kind of a wave in the top of the 5. This is like a beach town, so anytime you can, see if you can throw some motifs of whatever you're creating into the logo's design. Now, don't make that dictate the logo, but it can be kind of nice, cool design elements. If there are a lot of trees and you're making a logo for a forest, maybe add some trees. If the town's near a beach, maybe add some waves. And right here, I'm just kind of iterating. We tried 1.5, looked okay. Tried another one, not so great. We're just moving, nothing crazy. And right here, I'm basically just gonna keep making the same shape over and over again until I can make enough little changes to make it work. And right here, I think I found the ID of this thing in the waves in the top line of the 5. So I'm just gonna keep trying and see what it looks like. Now I think I've got something, but that doesn't always mean you're going to. I could go down this entire path and not work, and then I'll try a different 5 or a different word, or I'll try and work with the word cities again. But for this case, I think I found something that worked with the 5, so I'm just iterating. I'm just trying new things and hoping something sticks. Right now, I got a little something, but we're not quite there. As you can see, I'm just kind of doing the same thing over and over again, hoping I can make a slight change that sparks an epiphany, and we're not quite there, and we're just rocking. As you can see, I've sketched almost the same things before. Definition of insanity, doing the same thing, hoping it changes. But you can see, I thought I had something there. The straight line. We're trying to also balance this thing out. So you'll notice in the sketch above this one and to the right, the 3 lines at the top, I'm trying to balance with a little more structure at the bottom, and I'm trying to find a way to do that. And we're just, if you notice, doing it with circles and lines. Very, very simple things, but design elements that can be robust and they can scale well. Simplicity makes for, in my opinion, the best art. So we're just moving. And we think we got something. So I think I'm going to try this one more time and see if we can't develop it just a little more. Right here, I'm going to start sketching a little more furiously because I'm on the scent right now. I'm on the scent. I think I got something. And really, it lies in the balance of these lines and some sort of weighted element at the bottom. And you can see we're trying to make some sort of swirl, a combination of straight lines and circles work. And if you can, I would always try and use some gridded paper. You don't have to. It just helps you keep things in scale, especially once you start to throw them into Illustrator, which we'll do. We're just not there yet. Okay, so I think I got something. I'm just kind of darkening the lines here. I think I've got the weight right, scale right, proportions feel good. But they feel good on paper. When you move something from paper, a drawing, something that is a little more ambiguous than when you throw something on Illustrator and it becomes very rigid with pixels and right angles and things like that, it can look a little different. So the sketch feels nice, so I'm going to make it a little larger. so I can take a nice picture and then throw it into Illustrator. And when possible, do as much work as you can on paper. Illustrator has a ton of different tools that have a billion different applications, and they're all great. But we want to streamline the Illustrator process as much as possible. It's a great program, but we're using it as a tool. And when we define or design a problem, we can just use the tools to solve it. If you open Illustrator without any direction, you can get lost. I'm not saying that's good or bad. I just mean if you're here to get your creative ideas out, and Illustrator is just a medium through which you're doing that, there are easier ways to do it, and that's how we're going to do it. Simple shapes. Define your sketch as much as possible. It makes the transition from Sketch to Illustrator as seamless as it can be. All right, Sketch isn't quite perfect, but we've defined our design problem. Next step is to throw it into Illustrator. Take a photo of this, email it to yourself, text it to yourself, however you want to get it to your laptop or computer, because we're going to throw it into Illustrator and get on to part 2.